Hey everyone, this is Martin. This is part 14 or 13 maybe of the C++ OpenGL FPS game devlog, and I wanted to talk about what this game might be eventually. So I changed my video settings a little bit just before I start. Maybe this is a little bit smoother. I don't think it will be. I've made the resolution like way smaller, like the window size. But hopefully you can see this here. I've got a level which is just an empty room at the moment. I've got the exit door there, which is when you, I think you saw in the last video maybe, when you touch it you go to the next level. Cool, that all works. Then that block on the bottom left there is one that's generated on the fly during runtime. It's not coming, well, obviously during runtime, but it's added not as part of the scene, but like just within the main level code. So it's got a collision on it. Hopefully you can see that. Honestly, if anyone's got some ideas of how I can record screen smooth on a potato laptop, please let me know, because this is like awful, really. You guys can barely see what it is at the moment, and maybe I'll use the the Windows game bar or something, just something that's a little bit easier. Maybe if you've got any suggestions of a screen capture that allows me to do some very basic editing, like I've used Camtasia before, but there's probably other like more modern, better ones out there, so let me know. Anyway, so that's all it is. I think if I go back here, I could just go back to the level and click play. I've just coded it so it's just going to this third level at the moment, and it's back there as well. This is just a ceiling that I've put on there, but I guess the main point of this video is that I'm trying to figure out what this is going to be, and I think it's going to be a maze game. Now, why a maze game? Because I suck at finishing games. I really suck at finishing games. I have an idea, and probably most game developers can relate to this. I have an idea. I've got this, oh, it's going to be this way. It's going to be this game. Then you get a few months into it, or however long into it, and then all of a sudden the honeymoon period is over and you stop building because you get bored, or you think it's going to take too long, or you, like me, this is a severe problem for me as I get writer's block. I don't know what to make. I work much better when people tell me what to build, or I have some kind of very defined plan, rather than me trying to come up with ideas, because I really suck at design. I really, really do, and that's something I need to improve, I think, especially if I'm trying to get this to a finished state. But the reason why I wanted to do a maze game, or why it might be a maze game, just very, very simple. You walk around the level, you know, it's going to be dark, it's going to be brick walls, and you reach the exit. That's it. Next level loads, boom. And then it's a bit more complex, it's a bit bigger. Maybe I'll have some collectible like keys. You have to collect a key to get, and then the exit becomes unlocked. Maybe yes, maybe no. The reason why I'm thinking that is because I need to do something simple with this whole project, this whole thing. Like, I can't go down the avenue of this is going to be a cool FPS like puzzle, what's it called, Portal type game, or I think it's Cube is the other game with a Q, like those kind of very, very well polished like games. My whole point of this is to learn C++ better, OpenGL as well, build something from without an engine, even though that I've built off of the Udemy course first, and now I'm expanding on that. Link in the description, by the way. But the main thing, or one of the other reasons, is to just go through from complete start to finish of publishing a game onto Steam as well. So that ecosystem, I have experience in that through the work that I've done for other companies, but I've never done it myself, and so I think there's a knowledge gaps there that I really want to get better at. I've done iPhone, I've done Android, that's cool, but I much prefer building like PC games and go through the C++ route. Anyway, I'll give you a little bit of a code overview of what I've done just so far. So we update here. I've added level 3, which is just the JSON, which explains like what exists in the level. I've talked about this plenty of times. It's got .sc extension. The objects in the world, so I've added the light, the main canvas, we already know about that. The ground, wall north, there you go. So this is pretty simple. just each of the walls have a mesh component on them, the material, physics component as well, labeled as static. And that just means that any other physics objects can't move it, like the player is a kinematic object. Any free moving objects like balls, or I'm not going to have balls in it, but if they were to hit the walls, they would just bounce off the wall. Wall south as well, so that's pretty straightforward. And that's all it is. That's just a 50 by 50 level there. So you can see the position there is 25, and then the extents of the mesh component are 50. This is a very manual process, though. Like there's no way that I can make, say, let's say if I decide to have 100 levels in the maze, there's no way that this is going to be scalable. How can I put it? It'll take me a long time to code all of these in, you know. So I think I need a better way of doing this. So if I can go online and find a map generator, a maze generator. I could also write a maze generator myself. I've watched some videos of this on YouTube. It's pretty straightforward. If I go online and just generate some off of a website and then copy those, you know, like randomly generated ones with like ever expanding scale. So the first one might be, I don't know, let's say 20 by 20 units, you know, and then that's the first 10, and then the next ones are 30 by 30 and so on. I could do it that way, to be decided. But what I do need to do first, I think, is, if I can find it, which I've started to do here, is create a test object. So this is when the level loads on the fly, it's creating a test cube, which is that brick cube that you saw when I was playing just a moment ago. Setting the position, the mesh itself, creating the box. This is like the visual representation of that cube. And then add in the component, like again, you'd do in Unity, you'd add a mesh filter, a mesh renderer. I think those are the two components if I remember right. And then the box collider as well. And setting that to static. I am having some problems here. Like you saw me bump into it before. If I set this position to 2, as in 2 in the Y direction, so it's 2 units up, I'm having problems with the collision, which I've got to figure out next. So I'll demonstrate this, like if it plays in just a second. Again, anyone suggestions of better recording software so that this potato PC can actually handle it and I can show you something smooth at 60 FPS, please do let me know in the comments. So if I click on play here, and if I just shift this over, oh, it's going to be slow. Okay, anyway. Oh gosh, it is really slow. Oof, but I can walk right through that brick cube there, if you can tell. But if I jump, the collision is above my head now. So I don't know why. Even though, so visually the cube is, if I pause there, it's 2 units above the floor. So Y on 2? Oh gosh. I've really got to sort out this movement, guys. It sucks, really sucks. But there, I'm jumping, so the mesh, the collider is above the character's head. So I don't know why that is. It's offset. I've got to figure that out. Yeah, anyway, I'll come back to that. Visually, what am I going to do? I'm thinking just horror maze. That's it. Eerie, character holding a flashlight. So you've basically got the, you know, like an underground sewage system maze-like place. So it's not it doesn't have to be a sewage system, but it's just brick walls. It's just the bare minimum thing to get the game done. And again, going back to what I was saying before, I have a real problem of like being able to see things through to an end on personal projects that last more than, say, a month. I've done plenty of small games in the past, loads of them. But if they last more than a month, I lose steam on them. Unless I'm getting paid to do the work, then of course, you know, you're not running out of steam, you're getting paid for it. Visually, just brick walls, cement floor, cement ceiling, that's it, and just ever expanding, and maybe 100 mazes in that. That's it. That's all I'm thinking. It's eerie, it's slow paced, it's horror, it's got some spooky music, some spooky sounds. Players just find the end of the maze. That's it. Okay, so real simple, like breaking it down to its minimum components of, you know, what can I do with what I have now in this engine to make it a game. You know, I'm using air quotes, so you can't see that, but that's it, nothing else. If I come to the point at the end of making that I find, oh, maybe I can have some like key elements, you know, you have to collect a key, or maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, more horror aspects where, I don't know, the player's being perhaps followed by something, or there's maybe timer. A timer is another one perhaps that I might include as well, like so you can see the time of levels. Maybe, but let's just keep it real simple. And the other part after that, so I'll turn this off now. The other part after that is the part before that, I should say, is figuring out, okay, so how do I generate these levels? Do I manually go onto a website, get a maze generator, and then one by one start to add in all of the ceilings, the walls here, like one by one with all the colliders, like each of like this? Do I procedurally generate them at runtime in the code, like when the main level loads, they'll be like, hey, a create maze based on these parameters. Now that means that each person who plays the game will have potentially a different maze. Or do I have them kind of pre-baked where I have like a separate tool that is maybe not a separate project, I'll have a think about it, but it's, or even, sorry, maybe not a separate project, but it would generate the maze layout first, and then have them generate this level.sc file, and then I could save it as part of my assets here, so that there is no procedural generation of the maps. It's done ahead of time. I just put the levels in here once I'm happy with them, and I play through them to check that they're all okay and they're all fun, or they can be completed. Maybe yes, maybe no. Part of it is also I want to be surprised. If I did do the randomly generated level, level 1, level 2 is a 20 by 20, and then level 3 is a 25 by 25 space, whatever, then I'm kind of, each time I play it, I'm getting something new and unique. That's what I've got to figure out. That's what I've got to kind of mull over and digest it in my brain. I guess I'll figure that out, but I think the main kind of point on this video is keeping it ultra simple is so important. I think especially for myself, where I can't finish long-term games on my own. I need somebody to kind of tell me what to do. Hey, I want this, next. I want you to do this next, and then okay, cool. I don't have the writer's block issue. I've got a designer telling me what to do next, or producer, whatever. Cool. So by keeping it really simple, I can probably get to the end of this with some kind of like 100 level game and get it out, and then great, I can say like a full C++ OpenGL game from start to finish. I built it, again, off of the tutorial that I used from Udemy, but the rest of it I built out myself. I'd be very proud of that, and I think it'd be a great learning experience as well. Visually as well, it's something that's got to be super duper simple, because I suck so bad at art and design. I really do. I can't think of what to make, and you always have that shiny, what's it called, shiny penny syndrome, I think it's called, where you'll have an idea and then you'll think, oh, this would be really cool to do, and then all of a sudden you go down this different avenue for a couple of weeks, and then another shiny penny comes along. Oh no, this would be cool to do, and then you hop onto that thing. You never actually get anything done. I've done that a million times, probably like a lot of developers have, where you don't finish anything to completion. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm curious people what they think about what I said around level generation, whether it should be, hey, I just manually input all of the levels myself like this, hand coded. Probably not the best thing to do, since it's going to be 100 and they're going to be very large. Even these walls took like several minutes to like get in, to get into the level. If you consider like each level's going to have potentially hundreds of walls, then I'm going to have to deal with optimization as well, because already it runs very sluggish, so I've got to figure that out as well. Or do I have like a randomly generated levels, but they're pre-built? So that means, I have a tool that makes these levels, and then I can just copy and paste the files into here. Or do I just have them randomly generated based on a set of parameters from the very beginning, perhaps even with a seed, so that each time the randomly generated level is the same each time? So it is procedural, but it is set each time, so every player has the same randomly generated level. So curious to know what you think, but my next thing is really just figuring out why the heck this this cube is giving me a headache when I just move it to 2, because what I want to do here, just as a very early test really, is just, can I build walls procedurally, yes or no? And then lay out a level like that. I guess it goes back to what I'm going to do first. The question is, do I have these levels procedural? Do I just do them all through the level.sc file manually, or produce this based off of the like a maze website generator thing, and I just figure out a way to generate these files? So yeah, I'll let that digest and I'll think anyway. So, but guys, you know, it'd be great to get some opinions, some ideas. I always appreciate kind of input from an outside perspective. But yeah, let me know what you think. Do you guys have the same problem of like writer's block or shiny penny syndrome? I think that's what it's called. I am curious to know. And the other thing is, yeah, do let me know if you've got some better recording software that is very, very simple, can run smooth. I think OBS Studio, that's the other major one, I think. I'll have to check that out, because I've used it a long time ago, but it's very popular, and it might just be able to work okay on this potato, and then I can, you know, show you 60 FPS, because it sucks with this one. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. See you later.